Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah. Excited for this one.
Me too. Today we're going deep into Bitcoin, but through a very specific lens.
Yeah, a really fascinating individual, actually.
Yeah, Cyrus Rustom.
So
Yeah.
what's interesting about Cyrus
Yeah.
is that he's not your typical, Bitcoin maximalist kind of guy.
Right. Like the guy in the basement, the
hoodie.
Yeah, with the hoodie, yeah.
Mining Bitcoin. Yeah.
He's built a career around fitness, like pushing limits.
Yeah. So he's the CEO of Boxica.
Right?
And also the director of Crucible Athlete.
Wow.
So very much in the fitness world.
He also put his money where his mouth is with Bitcoin.
I mean, really put his money where his mouth is.
Yeah, a lot of it.
95% to be exact.
95% of his wealth is tied up in Bitcoin.
That's that level of conviction right there.
Yeah, it definitely piqued our interest.
Yeah, we were like, okay, we got to hear this guy's story.
For sure.
And luckily, we have this this really great in-depth interview that he did.
Oh, yeah, this is a...
Yeah, we can pull from.
Yeah, this is a gold mine of information.
Gold mine is right.
So we're not just, dipping our toes in the Bitcoin pool here.
No.
We're going deep.
Deep dive.
Yeah, with someone who's practically, built a financial swimming lane around it.
Exactly.
So what really struck me at the start was how Cyrus went from dismissing Bitcoin as a scam to,
embracing it.
fully embracing it. Yeah.
Yeah, so wholeheartedly.
And it really highlights how important it is to do your own research, you know, like not just relying on here,
right.
even
if it comes from someone who's seemingly, very successful.
Yeah.
In Cyrus's case, the person who told him it was a scam was worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So even the wealthy can be misinformed.
Well, it reminds me of that saying, don't take financial advice from someone who's broke. But what really clicked for Cyrus was this vision he had of his financial future, realizing his current path just like...
It wasn't going to get him there.
Yeah, it wasn't going to get him there.
Yeah.
And that's where Bitcoin kind of re-entered the picture.
Bitcoin 2.0 for Cyrus.
Yeah, this time introduced by someone he did respect.
Yeah, someone that he actually listened to.
Yeah.
And the key here is that he was told, you can start small.
Oh, yeah.
You can buy a little bit.
Right.
And you can learn the ropes.
Yeah.
Which I think is a pretty good strategy for anybody who's
absolutely
a little hesitant to just go all in.
Like dipping your toes in the water before
Exactly.
you jump in.
Where you go to the deep end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after nearly 4 years of really intense research.
Yeah, this wasn't just a, weekend of reading.
Right. He
went deep into this rabbit hole.
Cyrus becomes convinced that Bitcoin is the way to go.
Yeah, so what specifically about Bitcoin?
Yeah, what was it that resonated?
Resonated with him.
With him, yeah.
What did he see?
Yeah.
Well, he calls it a savings technology.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which I think is a very interesting way to frame it.
Yeah.
It's not about...
It's not a get-rich-quick.
No.
Kind of thing.
It's about preserving and growing wealth over time.
Right.
And he really emphasizes that scarcity factor.
Scarcity, yeah.
Only 21 million will ever exist.
21 million.
That's it.
Yeah.
And to illustrate this to his followers on Instagram, he uses the analogy of diamonds.
Diamonds, okay.
They're valuable because they're rare.
Right.
Just like Bitcoin.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that scarcity angle,
yeah,
I think it's definitely a compelling argument.
It makes you think about value in a different way.
For sure.
Now, one thing that sets Cyrus apart from, I think, a lot of people in the crypto space is his really laser focus on Bitcoin.
Yeah. He's a Bitcoin maximalist to a certain degree.
Yeah.
He readily admits that he hasn't spent much time researching other cryptocurrencies.
Okay, so he's not checking the charts every day for all the altcoins.
He's like, Bitcoin is it for me.
He does have a little Ethereum.
He does.
But that's mainly due to his father's interest in gambling, as he put it on some altcoins.
Yeah, so a little bit of a family dynamic there.
Yeah, a little bit of a family.
But he's very upfront about it.
Right.
He's not advocating for or against other cryptos.
Right.
Simply because he hasn't researched them.
He hasn't done the work.
Yeah, he's not going to speak on something he doesn't know.
Right.
And I think that's really admirable. He's not just, shilling everything that comes his way.
Right. He's sticking to what he knows.
Yeah.
So how does Cyrus cut through all the noise in the crypto world?
Yeah, because there's a lot of it.
Oh, so much.
Like, how do you even stay updated?
Yeah, how does he know?
On what matter?
What to focus on?
Well, he's a big advocate for learning from credible sources.
Okay.
And he actually recommends specific resources.
Oh, cool. Okay.
That he's found valuable.
Okay, great.
He's a big fan of Michael Saylor's YouTube videos, for example.
Saylor, the CEO of MicroStrategy.
The one and only, yeah.
I've heard his name thrown around a lot.
Oh, yeah, he's like...
in the Bitcoin world.
Yeah, he's like Mr. Bitcoin.
Okay.
Like, he's known for, like, his deep dives into the technical and macro aspects of Bitcoin, which Cyrus finds very insightful.
Cool. Okay.
He also highly recommends the Bitcoin Standard.
Oh, yeah, classic.
By Safety and Amos.
Okay.
Which is considered by many to be like the Bitcoin Bible.
The Bible. Okay.
Yeah, so if you're going to read one book...
start there.
That's the one.
Okay.
Start with that one.
Now, I'm curious about these other sources he mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
British HODL.
British HODL.
And this Oliver Lentz fella.
Yeah, so British HODL, as you might guess, is all about that long-term Bitcoin investment strategy.
HODL.
Yeah. And then Oliver Lentz
is
a very seasoned financial expert
Okay.
who's heavily involved in Bitcoin.
Gotcha.
And he shares his insights with like a very select group.
A small group.
Yeah. Very exclusive.
Wow. Okay. So he's really tapping into like a diverse range of
very much so
voices.
Yeah. He's not just
in the Bitcoin
sticking to one echo chamber.
Right. Right.
He's going out there and getting different perspectives.
Now, I do want to touch on a slightly controversial figure that Cyrus mentioned.
Okay. Who's that?
Roger Ver.
Ah, yes.
Often dubbed Bitcoin Jesus.
Bitcoin Jesus, the OG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's this narrative.
There's this whole narrative.
Kind of floating around.
There's even a book written about it.
Okay.
By Ver himself.
Oh, wow.
Saying that Bitcoin has been hijacked.
Hijacked.
By these shadowy forces.
Oh, my gosh. It sounds like a conspiracy theory thriller waiting to happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
But Cyrus, while acknowledging Ver's early advocacy for Bitcoin, doesn't seem to buy into these theories.
He doesn't buy into those.
No, he's more focused on, Bitcoin's track record.
Yeah.
And its future potential.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which actually ties into his overall philosophy, I think.
Oh,
whether it's fitness or finance.
Yeah.
Focus on what matters most. Tune out the noise.
Yeah. Keep your eyes on the prize.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Cyrus really connects this approach back to his fitness philosophy.
Yeah, because you can't achieve peak performance if you're constantly getting sidetracked.
Oh, yeah, by the latest fads or whatever.
Exactly. You got to have that discipline and that long-term vision.
Right.
And Cyrus clearly applies that.
To both.
To both.
Fitness and.
His physical training.
Yeah.
And his approach to Bitcoin.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah. Okay, well,
nice.
Let's take a quick break and we'll be back with more from Cyrus in just a minute.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is fascinating how that long-term mindset, kind of permeates his thinking.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
And speaking of long-term, Cyrus had this really interesting conversation with a client.
Oh, yeah.
Who disagreed with one of his Instagram posts.
Oh, yeah. I remember reading about this.
Yeah.
It's about how watching football could be a waste of time.
Yeah, but especially for men who...
aren't where they want to be in life.
Yeah, who aren't happy with their situation.
Their current situation, yeah.
Precisely.
So
his point was, if you're unhappy with your health...
your finances.
Your relationships.
Shouldn't your time be invested in improving those areas?
Yeah.
Rather than getting caught up in distractions?
Exactly. It's about focusing on what you can control.
Yeah.
Instead of just fretting over the things you can't.
Right.
Why not channel that energy into building wealth through a proven asset?
It's like Bitcoin.
Like Bitcoin, exactly.
Yeah, it's like choosing to build your own financial stadium.
I love that.
Yeah.
Instead of just being a spectator in someone else's game.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy.
It is.
Okay, so let's get into the practical side of things here.
Okay.
How does Cyrus actually manage his wealth in Bitcoin?
Yeah, this is the question everyone wants to know.
Especially considering, the market's volatility.
Right. How do you
handle that?
Stomach those ups and downs.
Yeah, so for example, when he needs cash, urgently, does he sell his Bitcoin?
Does he go to that Bitcoin piggy bank?
Yeah.
And crack it open?
Break the glass?
What does he do?
Nope, not a chance.
Nothing.
Cyrus is a firm believer in holding on to that Bitcoin.
Yeah, the hodler.
The hodler. Yeah, he views every
dollar Dov invested today. Potentially $10,000 in the future.
In the future.
He does not want to interrupt that growth.
No, makes sense.
So how does he handle then those unexpected expenses.
Right.
Those emergencies.
Okay. What's the plan?
He has a separate emergency fund.
Okay.
In cash.
So a safety net.
A safety net, yeah.
Outside of the Bitcoin.
Yeah, so that allows him to kind of cover those costs without having to touch his Bitcoin holdings.
Smart. Very smart.
Right.
So that's a crucial point, I think.
Yeah.
Especially for anyone new to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to get swept up.
Oh, yeah.
And all the excitement.
Yeah, all the potential gains.
But having that financial cushion outside of your Bitcoin investments can really help you ride out
those
fluctuations
Yeah.
without panicking.
It's like having that financial first aid kit.
Exactly.
Ready to go.
Ready to go, you know?
Now we know Cyrus is deep in the fitness world.
Yeah, fitness is his jam.
But he also sees Bitcoin as this valuable tool for businesses.
Oh, yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
Especially in Dubai's fitness industry.
Okay, so how so? He believes that any business owner looking to grow their wealth over time should seriously consider Bitcoin as part of their strategy.
All right.
He even brought up the idea of investing company reserves in Bitcoin.
To his business partner?
Yeah.
What was the response?
They were open to exploring the possibility.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's becoming more of a trend. Like companies like Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy accumulating Bitcoin as like a treasury asset.
Right, they see it as a hedge against inflation.
Yeah.
And a store of value for the long haul.
It's a bold move.
Yeah.
But it could pay off.
Yeah, big time.
Significantly.
Big time.
If Bitcoin continues on its upward trajectory.
Yeah.
Now, Cyrus did mention that he hasn't personally implemented this strategy in his businesses yet.
Yeah.
He prefers to speak from direct experience.
Yeah.
But he did express admiration for Saylor's aggressive Bitcoin accumulation strategy.
Yeah, he called him a pioneer and a maniac.
In a good way, of course.
In a good way, yeah. It's clear he respects those who are kind of like pushing the boundaries of traditional finance.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you mentioned earlier that Cyrus sees a difference
in
Bitcoin adoption between Dubai and the UK.
Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Yeah, so he thinks there's just a more receptive audience for Bitcoin in Dubai.
Okay.
Especially amongst, you know, the entrepreneurial and forward-thinking crowd.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Like Dubai's known for its tax-free environment, embracing innovation, so...
Yeah, so it's like fertile ground.
Yeah, it seems like for something like Bitcoin to take root.
Exactly.
But even in Dubai, Bitcoin adoption is still
early days.
Early stages, yeah.
Yeah, he pointed out that like most people in his immediate circle aren't invested in Bitcoin yet.
Interesting.
But then he said something that I thought was really interesting.
Okay, what's that?
He said the wealthiest people he knows are all in on Bitcoin.
That's fascinating.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it suggests that there's this growing awareness, acceptance of Bitcoin, particularly among those who are already financially savvy and looking for alternative investments.
Yeah, they're the ones who are always like on the cutting edge.
Spotting trends.
Early adopters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're the ones who are kind of like ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Okay, the big one.
Governments.
Governments, yeah.
So we've touched on this idea of them buying Bitcoin as a strategic reserve.
As a strategic reserve.
Does Cyrus buy into this theory?
Oh, he doesn't just buy it.
Okay.
He practically lives in that belief system.
He's convinced that many countries are already accumulating Bitcoin.
Secretly?
Secretly.
On the low.
Like a secret Bitcoin stash.
Yeah, like it's like a spy movie.
It does make sense, though, strategically.
It does. It does.
Right. Like they could be buying it discreetly to avoid...
driving up the price.
Yeah.
And to gain an edge.
Right.
You know?
In this global financial...
It's like a secret weapon.
Yeah.
In the financial arms race.
Wow. Cyrus even said that if he, a relatively ordinary individual, has figured out the value of Bitcoin, then governments, with their vast resources and intelligence networks, have most definitely figured it out, too.
Yeah, like if he can figure it out, they definitely can.
It makes you wonder.
It does.
What's happening behind closed doors in those halls of power?
Yeah, what are they cooking up?
It is a thought-provoking perspective.
It is?
Does Cyrus think they'll ever announce?
Yeah, like will they ever come clean?
Their Bitcoin holdings.
Will they ever be like, all right, world, we've got Bitcoin?
Yeah.
He believes they eventually will.
Okay.
perhaps when they've built up a substantial position or when they want to signal their confidence in Bitcoin as a global reserve asset.
Imagine the impact.
Oh, my God.
Those announcements would have.
It would be insane.
It would send Bitcoin's price
through the roof.
Skyrocketing.
It would be a monumental shift in the global financial landscape.
Yeah. Bitcoin potentially becoming like an integral part of national treasuries.
It'd be crazy.
And a key player in the future of money itself.
The future of money, man.
Yeah, speaking of the future, Cyrus mentioned that he believes the U.S. might start buying Bitcoin during the next presidential cycle.
Okay.
Potentially around 2028, 2029.
So he sees it becoming more mainstream.
Yeah.
And politically acceptable in the coming years.
No longer this fringe asset, only understood by
tech nerds.
Yeah, tech enthusiasts.
Yeah.
And he thinks that once those major governments start publicly acknowledging and adopting Bitcoin, it'll trigger this wave of institutional and individual investment, leading to unprecedented price appreciation.
Like a domino effect.
A domino effect, yeah.
Each major player kind of like propels it further into the mainstream.
We're already seeing signs of this
We are.
Happening at the state level, right?
At the state level, yeah.
Like Texas, for example.
Texas, yeah.
Has passed a bill to buy Bitcoin and hold it as a reserve asset.
They're going for it.
Yeah, they're even accepting cryptocurrencies.
Wow.
For payments.
For payments.
Although they plan to convert everything they receive into Bitcoin.
So Bitcoin is king.
Bitcoin is king.
In Texas, at least.
Yeah.
That's a significant step.
It is.
It shows that Bitcoin is gaining legitimacy.
Right.
Not just among individuals and corporations.
Right.
But within government institutions.
Texas is putting their money where their mouth is.
Exactly. They're not just talking the talk.
Yeah.
They're walking the walk.
Recognizing Bitcoin as the dominant cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
And a store of value.
It'd be interesting to see if other states and countries follow Texas's lead.
Texas's lead.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of embracing Bitcoin, Cyrus also mentioned the Lightning Network.
The Lightning Network.
Which is a layer built on top of the Bitcoin blockchain.
Yeah. So this allows for faster and cheaper Bitcoin transactions.
So it's like creating express lanes.
Yes.
For Bitcoin pays.
Bypassing the congestion. Of the main blockchain.
So like adding those high-speed toll lanes.
Yeah, exactly.
To a busy highway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it improves scalability.
Okay.
And it reduces those pesky transaction fees.
Oh, yeah.
Making Bitcoin more viable.
Okay.
For like smaller purchases.
Right.
And even high-volume transactions.
So you even suggested that Cyrus could potentially incorporate the Lightning Network.
I did.
Into his fitness businesses.
I did.
Oh, yeah. Like athletes could pay for event registration fees.
Yeah.
Using Bitcoin.
Over the Lightning Network.
Over the Lightning Network.
Seamless and cost-effective.
Yeah. It would align perfectly.
Yeah.
With his vision of Bitcoin as this practical.
Everyday tool.
Everyday tool.
For commerce.
Yeah. It's exciting to think about how the Lightning Network is unlocking all these new possibilities.
That's a game changer.
For businesses and individuals.
For sure.
Now, despite all this enthusiasm for Bitcoin and its potential, Cyrus did admit that he hasn't delved into some of the more recent developments.
Like what?
Like ordinals and runes?
Oh, yeah. Those are...
I've seen them mentioned more and more.
They're protocols that allow for the creation of NFTs.
NFTs, okay.
On the Bitcoin blockchain.
Okay.
And they've generated a lot of buzz in the crypto community.
I honestly haven't taken the time to really understand them yet either.
Yeah, it's a whole other rabbit hole.
It is.
To go down.
Yeah.
But in Cyrus's case, he prefers to stick with what he knows well.
Right. The fundamental
core value proposition as a store of value.
Okay.
He's not chasing every shiny new object in the crypto world.
Which is a valuable lesson in itself.
Yeah.
It's okay to specialize and focus on what
resonates with you.
Yeah.
Especially in a field
as vast and ever-changing as
crypto.
Cryptids.
There's no need to be a jack of all trades in the crypto world.
Right.
It's better to be a master of one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do. All right, so we've explored Cyrus's personal journey, his thoughts on, global adoption.
A lot of ground cut.
Yeah, even some technical stuff like the Lightning Network.
It's been quite a deep dive.
It really has, but we still have some interesting territory to cover, like BlackRock's involvement in Bitcoin, the potential shift from gold.
Big topics.
Yeah, and Cyrus's take on predicting Bitcoin's price movements.
Yeah. Does he have a crystal ball?
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll find out.
So BlackRock, their Bitcoin ETF launch.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big deal.
Huge.
It felt like a stamp of approval.
Yeah, from
the traditional...
the old guard.
Yeah, the traditional finance world.
Yeah. Wall Street's like, okay, Bitcoin's legit.
Right.
It was a major sign of institutional acceptance.
For sure.
And Cyrus found their timing quite intriguing.
Okay.
Remember how we discussed BlackRock setting up that internal Bitcoin fund?
Yeah, a couple months before the FTX crash.
Yeah, a couple months before. It's almost like they knew a dip was coming.
Yeah.
And they were positioning themselves
to buy the dip.
To capitalize.
Yeah.
Definitely suggests a strategic approach.
Right.
Which, not surprising coming from a firm like BlackRock.
Right. They know what they're doing.
They got the big brains over there.
They do.
What I found interesting is how they've been framing Bitcoin.
Yeah. How are they talking about it?
As a store of value.
Oh, interesting.
Drawing comparisons to gold.
That narrative seems to be gaining traction, especially with all this talk about
institutions.
Yeah, institutions.
Even countries.
Potentially selling their gold.
To buy Bitcoin.
It's a potential paradigm shift.
Huge.
Could reshape the global financial landscape.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Cyrus believes this shift is inevitable.
Okay.
Though the timing, who knows?
Yeah, the timing is always the tricky part.
Always the tricky part.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder what the world will look like.
Right, like if Bitcoin truly becomes this...
If Bitcoin truly becomes...
digital gold.
Yeah.
A global reserve asset.
Now, when it comes to predicting Bitcoin's price in the future...
Yeah, everybody wants to know.
Yeah, what's it going to be?
What's the magic number?
Cyrus is pretty cautious.
Okay.
He's not into trying to time the market.
Right.
Or get caught up in those short-term price swings.
Yeah, he's not about that day trading life.
No.
He's all about those fundamentals, believing that Bitcoin's value will continue to rise as more people use it, and that scarcity factor becomes even more apparent.
Right.
He did mention some tools that can help visualize Bitcoin's potential growth.
Okay, like what?
Like Michael Saylor's 21 model.
The 21 model, okay.
Basically provides a framework for understanding
Bitcoin's
long-term price trajectory.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Cyrus also suggested using compound interest calculators to see how a Bitcoin investment could potentially grow over time.
Yeah, it's important to remember those are just projections, not guarantees.
Projections, exactly.
Yeah.
Not financial advice.
Not financial advice.
But they can be helpful for understanding what's possible.
Yeah.
Especially for those new to the concept of long-term investing.
All right.
You know.
So as we kind of wrap up our deep dive into Cyrus's perspective on Bitcoin.
Yeah. This has been...
What are some of the key takeaways?
Fascinating.
Yeah.
For me,
yeah,
it's the power of independent research. Forming your own convictions.
Absolutely.
Cyrus didn't just blindly follow the crowd.
Right.
Or rely solely on what other people said.
He did his own homework.
He took the time to understand Bitcoin for himself.
Right.
And that's what fueled his confidence.
It reminds us that we shouldn't dismiss something just because it's new or unfamiliar or because other people are skeptical.
Yeah. Be open-minded.
Be open-minded.
Do your own research.
Do your own research.
Come to your own conclusions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another takeaway is Cyrus's focus on the long game.
Yeah.
Patience and discipline are key to navigating the often volatile world of Bitcoin.
Absolutely. He's not about quick profits or trying to time the market.
He believes in those fundamentals.
Yeah, he's willing to ride out those inevitable ups and downs.
Absolutely.
And that mindset is essential for anyone looking to invest in Bitcoin.
Or really
any asset.
Any asset.
That's known for its price swings.
That's going to have volatility, yeah.
Exactly. And finally, I think Cyrus's background in fitness really shines through.
It does.
In his approach to Bitcoin.
It informs everything he does.
That discipline, that mental fortitude, it's all connected.
Mind, body, Bitcoin.
Yeah. He sees those parallels between the dedication needed to achieve physical fitness and the mindset required to succeed in the world of Bitcoin.
It's all about setting goals, staying focused, and not letting distractions or setbacks derail you from your path.
Yeah.
So as we conclude this deep dive, we encourage you to think about Cyrus's journey.
Yeah, his insights.
As you explore the world of Bitcoin.
Absolutely. Do your own research, form your own opinions.
Yeah.
And remember that the most important investment you can make is in your own knowledge and understanding.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And maybe, just maybe, as Cyrus envisions, Bitcoin could one day contribute to a more peaceful
a more peace
and united world transcending traditional boundaries.
That's the dream, right?
It's a bold vision.
It is.
But one that adds another layer of intrigue to this whole journey of understanding Bitcoin.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, we hope you find it informative.
And maybe even a little inspiring.
Yeah, and we wish you the best as you continue to explore this fascinating world of Bitcoin.
Absolutely. Until next time.